What do you think? Did the French way of doing things, their emergency medical techniques, get in the way of saving her life?
It had to make a difference. I mean, here in this country and in England, we have this scoop and run technique where you grab the person at the scene in an ambulance and you rush them to the ER. And the French approach is to take the ER to the scene. They have a doctor in the ambulance, they have a surgical nurse, they can perform surgery actually on the site. But in this case, I don't think it worked to Diana's advantage. It took 90 minutes from the time of the accident to the time they got her to the hospital. She suffered this terrible rip in the tear in the left pulmonary vein. And at one point, you know, one of the photographers said that he was actually walking alongside the ambulance. It was going that slowly down the street.
They feel that they need to stabilize the patient. They don't want to elevate the blood pressure,
exactly.
So they don't race through town like we do.
Right, exactly. So what happened was, just short of the hospital, actually at the entrance to the hospital, she suffered cardiac arrest, and they stopped the ambulance there for another crucial period of time. So she didn't get into the emergency room until it was quite late. And then I have to say the surgeons did everything they could. They opened her up, they did open heart massage, they frantically tried to save her life, but I think it certainly was too late.
We went back to the tunnel with Dr. Maillet, where I asked him about what happened on that fateful night of the crash.
What was your first image when you got inside?
When I was approaching the tunnel, I saw a lot of smoke, and orange smoke with the orange lights inside the tunnel. I stopped my car. As soon as I walked toward the wreckage, I saw there were 4 people in this car. It was pretty obvious that the 2 persons on the left side, the driver and Mr. Al-Fayed, was dead already. So I couldn't do anything for them.
The other 2, Princess Diana and Trevor Rees-Jones, were still breathing?
They were breathing, they were making noises.
Did you have any idea that this blonde woman that you were treating was in fact Princess Diana?
I didn't recognize her because she was pale, she was white. She was pretty unconscious, and she felt more and more unconscious, so she couldn't speak at all.
The human part of you must feel so strange that you were the first doctor to treat her.
And maybe I was the last one she could hear, because I spoke to her. I spoke in English to her, and maybe that my words she heard.
What did you say to Princess Diana?
Well, you know, I tried to comfort her. That means I told her that I was a doctor and everything was under control and that the ambulance were on the way and everything was okay.
Do you ever struggle with your choices? Anything that you did, do you question the way you handled the scene at all?
I couldn't have done anything better because I didn't have any equipment. You know, for this kind of accidents, you need a lot of equipment and a team, and you cannot do anything very seriously alone.
When did you find out that the woman you treated was Princess Diana?
So the next morning, I was watching the television, and of course, everybody spoke about that. So I discovered that the lady I've been treated was Princess Diana, and that she died a few hours after I left the scene. So as you can imagine, how sad and terrible I felt.
What about the Queen? Was she really all that broken up over Diana's death, or was she more concerned about the royal jewels? Christopher Anderson will tell us right after this. Stay close. This book has apparently got the royal family pretty upset, Christopher, because you honestly, well, you don't paint the Queen in such a great light.
No, the Queen did something I think that really betrayed what her real feelings were. And we know what she did publicly. I mean, she got in trouble with the British people because she was against really giving Diana her due, even flying the flag at half-mast over Buckingham Palace. But I discovered that behind the scenes she was acting pretty much the same way. That shortly after learning of Diana's death, the Queen contacted the British Embassy in Paris and had only one question. She wanted to know if Diana was in possession of any royal jewelry, and if so, she wanted, and if so, she wanted it back immediately. And so here's this scene in the hospital that it was related to me by the nurses who were there. They were standing there next to Diana's body, and in comes the British official.